Meet me. Welcome back, boys, to another squirrely video, and this is going to be a fun one because it's one that many of you have requested that I do. A follow-up to an earlier popular video of mine called Lightning Reviews of every single Epic 7 hero. Well, the problem with that video is, a problem with a lot of my videos is, the game changes, things get buffed, mechanics change, so some of those videos get outdated. So I'm going to put an outdated tag on that old one, and we're going to upload this new 2021 edition. Now, just like last time, before we start, there are some caveats. Number one, these are PvP ratings. Why? I know some of you early game players are concerned about, getting really strong PvE heroes, and that's perfectly legitimate. Let me just tell you, as an endgame player, when you're at the endgame, PvE is so easy, all of it, that you don't even care what heroes are required for that. So this is going to be PvP focused only. Also, keep in mind that a lot of my ratings don't necessarily mean that the hero sucks or is unusable, but it's just not draftable in very many situations. So there are going to be some heroes where some people can make use of them. There's always that one guy who likes to experiment with a weird hero that no one else uses and trips people up and wins. But again, if I see it in 1 out of 1,000 matches in High Champion or Legend, it's a fair assumption that all these top players have experimented with these heroes and that they're never using them. They're just not that good overall. It doesn't mean they're complete garbage, but draftability is important. You want heroes that fit into a lot of drafts. If you have a hero that's good, but only in a very rare situation, overall, they're not going to get a great rating. So again, like last time, we're going to rate the heroes from F to S, F obviously being the worst and S being the best. And, hopefully you guys don't get too salty and troll me for not giving your favorite waifu an S. But we're going to break this video into 3 topics: 5-star heroes, 4-star heroes, and then 3-star heroes. And I'm going to try my absolute best to make this as fast as possible because, again, these are lightning reviews. These are not in-depth reviews. If you want in-depth reviews, go to my channel and I have full in-depth reviews of a lot of heroes in this game. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so topic number 1. 5-star heroes. Again, we're going to try to spend less than 30 seconds per hero, and we're just going to go down the list. It is ordered by grade. So number 1, Cecilia, Fire Knight, pretty good. Her main issue is that there's so many really broken knights in this game that she kind of falls behind a lot of them, but in certain cases she's solid. PvP rating, solid B. Pretty good hero. Kisei got buffed a lot recently. She's pretty strong now, to be honest. A big part of her being picked a lot is that she's a very viable counter to Carrot, which is dominating the RTA meta right now. So against Carrot, she's very strong, but in general, she hits really hard. She has some survivability now. She's pretty damn good. I'm going to give her a solid A. Vildred, pretty useless in PvP except for really top level cleavers because he does have this speed imprint. But, in most cases, unless you're speed contesting top players at like 300 speed, it's not the greatest pick. A lot of top cleavers will use it with like Flan and 300 speed initiators. In that case, he's very powerful, but for the average player, I'd say he's like a C. But for top cleavers, definitely usable and very powerful. Charlotte. She's pretty good. She does monstrous damage. The problem with her is she's hard to draft because she's susceptible to being locked down. You need to have some support around her. So she's kind of hard to use compared to something like a Ravi. So I'm just going to give her like a B. She's okay. Balin Cezanne, I don't even really know what he does. I know he's good in expeditions, but we don't care about that for this video. I've never seen him in RTA. F. Yafine, F. You will not see her in RTA. F. Ravi, very strong RTA unit, drafted all the time near the end of last season, the beginning of this season. She's kind of fallen off a little bit just because of the way the meta has moved, but she's still a very solid pocket pick. I don't know if she's an S anymore. I'm going to give her a solid A+, but she's borderline S. She's still really strong. There's just a lot of drafts that are okay against her now. Ruel of Light disappeared from RTA for a while. Now she's kind of back, especially with Asian players. I'm not really Asian players, but like the Korea and Asia battle groups, whatever you want to call it. When people verse people in those things, they love double Soul Weaver. In that case, I mean, Invincibility plus a full heal. I mean, it's always going to be good, right? I'll give her a solid A. Kayron, unfortunately, I'm sure in the last Lightning review I rated him high. He's fallen off in a big way. Just too many dispellers in this game now. He can never keep his immunity up, and without immunity, he is useless. So at this point, I'm going to downgrade him to like a C or something. He is almost never drafted anymore. If he is, he's a 5. Iseri, a lot of people love this hero. Even legend players sometimes used to use it. This is like a, I don't even want to call it troll pick, but like a counter pick maybe. But in general, I never really run into her, so I'm gonna give her like a D. I'm sure in certain comps she works well, but people don't really use her at all at the top. Charles, everyone used to be scared of this guy. He still shows up on Guild Wars defense, but in general in RTA, consistency matters, and he is just too inconsistent of a hero to be relied upon. I'm going to give him a C+. Yuna, you will almost never see this, but I have seen some top players use her to deal with carrot teams, and she's actually quite annoying. I'm gonna give her a C plus though. I mean, she's not that terrible. Against certain drafts, she's strong, but again, a very, very rare hero to run into. Says just straight F. You're never gonna see it. Haste F minus. F doesn't like even categorize how terrible he is. Tywin, poor Tywin. I used to love this hero. He carried me to Legend Arena like over a year ago, but only Flans has replaced him. Flan is better in literally every way. There's no reason to use this hero anymore. Poor Tywin. I'm going to give him like a D or a C. Mui, I don't see him in RTA. She's honestly quite scary with her exclusive equipment because if she gets to S3 into S2, I've lost to that before where I didn't even know that was a thing, and she attack buffed her whole team and then stunned my whole team. But still, you're not going to see her very much. I'll give her a C as well. Litica, she's very fast. Some people used to use her to speed contest. I gotta say, I don't ever see her used in that role anymore, but that might be because I'm not a cleaver. Maybe some people still do. But I want to say in the last 500 matches, I've not seen her once. So I'll still give her a C+. I'm sure she still works for speed contesting, but yeah, you don't run into her. Ken, I actually thought after his buffs he would make waves, but he really hasn't. I think he's still okay. I think his main problem is still it takes too long to get his S3 ramped up. He's susceptible to being ignored. He does hit really hard though, but again, I never see him. I'll give him a C. Araminta, I will say that I have not seen her not only this season, but last season, the season before that, and there's probably a reason for it. F. Chloe, F. Don't even try it. Tenebria, she used to be pretty big in the RTA meta. I gotta say, I have not really seen. I've seen her twice this season, and both games I actually lost because I thought it was um, like a debuffing Tenebria, and actually turned out to be a DPS Tenebria and one-shotted my team. But in general, you won't see her very much. She's okay, I guess, but she's just been outclassed by other heroes. I'll give her a C. Bassar, he's still an asshole. Hard S. What a jerk. Luna, I know some people are experimenting with counter Lunas and stuff, but she still sucks. D. Tamarin, PvP, just too hard to use. You need to use her with Viseri, and both of them are never going to go through F. Ludwig, he hits hard. I have lost to this before. Some people will, just try to troll with like C. Armin and Ludwig. He'll one-shot you if he has invincibility, but again, very niche team. Like again, some people might be able to get this to work, but you're almost never going to run into it. So there's no reason to care, especially since there's a lot of fire units and stuff now. D. Crow, he's still an asshole too. Hard S, just super good at literally everything. Green Bellona, no one ever uses her. F. Blue Sigrid, I mean, you could use her on like Arena and Guild Wars offense if you really want to deal with RBs, but in RTA, F. Cowrick, some people will actually use this hero, and I'm not going to say it's a common pick by any means, but I have seen top players pocket pick him. I'll give him a solid B minus. I think the number of drafts you would want to bring him to is quite small, but when he fits, and he does the job well. Violet F. He disgusts me. Everyone always rags on me for pooping on Green Violet, and they say like, "Oh, he's actually good." No, he ain't. No, he isn't. No one uses him, and he's garbage. I don't care what you guys say. Diane, I'll give her a solid A. She's still used a lot, particularly by the Asian battle groups running double Soul Weaver. She still can be pretty irritating. It's always a coin flip though. She turns a match into coin flip city because the crit resist sometimes does nothing, sometimes it completely neuters you, but still very good A. Sirmia, you're never gonna see her F. Pavel, oh man, some Legend players have some scary Pavels out there. As in, I've run into a few players with 300 speed Pavels that could still one shot. Absolutely scary hero, but super hard to build. You're not going to run into it too often, but when someone drafts it into you in high champion, you better believe that's going to be one scary son of a can't curse. We'll give him an A minus. Cerisa, not quite as commonly picked anymore, but she's still obviously very good. The reason she's not picked that much anymore is because, it's there's just a lot of like counters to it. Well, not really counters, but secondary initiators. Like she doesn't really shut down anyone right away, right? So, drafting her into like F10A or Bassar and stuff is kind of dangerous, but she's still very strong. I give her an A plus. Luluka, you're not going to see her F. Xeno, no one knows what this hero does. F. Vivian used to be pretty popular in PvP back in the day. Nowadays, I almost never ever see her. If she does damage, she ends up being too squishy, even with Dignus orbs. I mean, she has her uses, but they're pretty limited. I'd say C plus or B minus. Lilius has also kind of fallen off. I still love using her. A lot of top players still situationally draft her, but she's not just an auto pick like she used to be. I'm gonna give her a solid B plus here. Ray, there's a lot of heroes that have this role, and they're all kind of the same. I'll give him a solid B plus. He's gonna do the job great. You build him with like 250 ER. He'll full cleanse the team. DJB, all these heroes are all kind of the same, but he does it well, so we'll give him a decent rating. Elena, no one really uses her. I'm sure you could use her as anti-cleave, but the way a lot of these cleavers work with like Cerise and Politis and all this stuff, sometimes she can't even CR push herself enough to get to the front. She's a lot harder to use now. I'm going to give her a C. Against anti-cleave, she still probably works, but hard to say. Uh, I've never seen this once F. Never seen this once F. Poor Dizzy. Remember how toxic Dizzy used to be? And now, at least at the high tiers, you will never ever see her. I have not seen a Dizzy in RTA in months. Just too many counters. That's just how the game evolves. Just too many things that give full cleanses and immunity, and it's hurt Dizzy in a big way. I'm gonna give her a C now. Green Lilibet, F. No one will ever use her. Melissa, she's a pretty good Riolet counter, but Riolet's pretty rare in RTA too. F. You're not going to see it. Bomb Model Canna, F. Don't even know what she does. Alencia, oh man, I used to love this hero. She used to be my, I would first pick Alencia in Season 1. The problem with her is, the thing in the RTA meta now is heroes that can be ignored basically have gone by the wayside. And like the thing is, Mind's Eye, she's too dependent on Mind's Eye, and the thing is, everyone just ignores her because without Mind's Eye, her damage is 0. So with that, even with her awesome S3, full dispel plus increased defense, monster skill, the fact that she does nothing other than that means that she got downgraded really bad. C. Shu. Some people tried experimenting with her. They used to try and use her against Ravi, but in general, she kind of sucks. But we'll give her a C. You can use her in certain drafts. Rowana is a beast. Obviously a counterpick kind of hero. Against SSP she neuters, but she's also good against other things like F10A and stuff. Very solid hero. An excellent addition to any RTA kit. A. Celine, hard to use even against Cleave because a lot of Cleave teams nowadays don't have non-attack skills with the advent of things like Politis Cleaves. But I guess she still kind of counters certain things, so we'll give her a C. She's usable. Mort, Kind of sucks. He's like a running joke in the community. He actually can be pretty scary because people often forget that he has an unresistible defense break. So on Elbrus, he can actually just start defense breaking your team left and right. But still, the way his injury works with this kit is kind of a joke. I'm gonna give him a D. I'm not sure he's an F, but he's a D. Elfelt, I don't personally use her. I've never really run into her in RTA, but I know a lot of people love the Bazaar Elfelt cleave. That doesn't really work at the high tiers, I feel like. No one really ever does that. But still, she's a pretty solid PvP hero. I'm sure in like the mid tier, she might be able to dominate. We'll give her like a B minus. Senya, fun hero. A lot of people experimented with her when she came out, especially with Lilius Cleaves. Nonetheless, I don't ever see her. She's just too easy to work around. I'm gonna give her a C minus. Ervalen, hard F. I said this guy was gonna be an F when he came out, and he's definitely an F. No one uses him. Landy, she is just. I want to delete this hero. S plus. What a jerk. Not you, Flan. Flan is kind of garbage for 90% of people, but if you are a top cleaver, she is probably S tier because she is very annoying to deal with if you can comfortably outspeed everyone. But the thing is, for us lowly commoners that can't hit 300 speed everything, probably not going to be the safest thing to draft in RTA, but I still think she deserves a solid rating. We're going to give her a B plus, but honestly, if you were an endgame top cleaver, she's probably S tier to you. Ida, never saw it. I actually lost to it once. I don't think it's so bad, other than the fact that anything that's not 100% just ends up being an RNG fest and just gets annoying. We'll give her a D. Politis, again, top cleavers love her. Everyone else probably won't. Top cleavers will consider an S. Non-cleavers will probably consider an F. We'll give her a B plus. Ilanev, I don't like her. You know what she reminds me of? Fire Charles. Another hero where you're probably going to put her on counter and Elbrus or maybe speed and Elbrus and, just tank through if they tunnel her. She does have the self-defense buff. But the thing is, her entry works well. Problem is, you pretty much can't draft her into anything that has an FCC on it. And, you have a crit damage buff, but if you want to really make use of injury, you almost have to run a stall team. So it's kind of counterintuitive the way these abilities work. I don't think she's being used very much in RTA. Some people drafted her against me in RTA and I trucked them. I'm going to give her a C minus. FCC, still the queen of tank, S. Judge Kisei, hard to use. You're not going to be able to draft her in RTA. D. RB, still an S. Born an asshole, grew into an asshole, still an asshole. LQC kind of disappeared from the meta for a while, but she's back in a big way thanks to G Purge and the fact that she can just one-shot through teams with her S3 buff that is based on attack. The new build on Hellcutter and high attack, she's pretty beastly, and she does have that built-in adamant for her team. And she has, kind of a built-in pseudo proof, which is also very good. So, yeah, we're going to give her a solid A. Dark Corvus kind of sucks in PvP right now. And Guild Wars obviously is still a juggernaut in arena offense. If you want to have 20-minute matches, sure. RTA, people used to use him kind of if they picked low damage teams, but nowadays with the meta being all around things like super high damage teams like Landy, S10A, Carrot, he'll never survive to S3 back-to-back. Doesn't work. Sage Ball, I hate this guy. He's super annoying. I'm just going to give him an A. He's very annoying to deal with. Apoc Ravi, almost no one will use. If they do draft her, it's kind of going to be into a stall where they don't respect your damage and they expect to just stall you out. But in most cases, people don't use her. C minus. Destina, a very good counter pick to certain drafts like F10A. People build her 250 ER, and I think she's one of the best cleansers out there because not only does she cleanse, huge CR push, and her S2 has a CR push, and her heals are big. So I think this is a very good hero against debuff comps. I'm gonna give her a solid B plus. And remember, as I go through this video, B is actually a very good rating, guys. I don't think that a hero is bad because it's a B. It means that they're very, very powerful counterpicks. Briarwitch Issaria. I honestly feel like she's been drafted less and less. She's basically a Basar, except, the thing that makes Basar so powerful is the soul burn, right? And the fact that he's a mage. But Briarwitch is basically a Basar, although a lot of people build her with high damage nowadays. Some of them even build her kind of slow and rely on immortality to protect them. I'm going to give her a solid A minus, but I gotta say, I'm running into her less and less, but that might have something to do with my drafting style. Spez, he's kind of annoying, but I just don't really see him. So I'm assuming that the people who had him experimented with him and it just wasn't that good. I have lost to him before, but again, I almost never see him. We're going to give him a D. Blood Moon Haste, absolute beast, especially for people who like using RB or Maid. I mean, if you let this through with Maid, it's basically an auto loss. And with RB, it's probably like an 80% loss depending on what you drafted. So very excellent counter hero, B plus, but without revivers, he's kind of a waste of a pick in my opinion. A. Tywin was my most wanted hero for a long time. The super strong, super toxic hero, but honestly, I have not seen him much in this RTA meta. I feel like he's fallen off in a big way. I don't see many players draft him anymore. I'm gonna downgrade him to a B. Back then, like I would have put him at an S, but I think with all the immunities and the cleanses and stuff, and people that self cleanse like Carrot, he's kind of fallen off. Flitica, again, another cleave hero. I honestly feel like I don't run into her as much. Like, even the cleavers I run into don't really draft her very often. Um, I'll give her a solid B. ML Ken, just too hard to use. People keep trying to make ML Ken work by changing his build. Back then we had a standard build. Now people are using ER ML Kens and he's still getting trucked because guess what? A lot of heroes have soul burn, so like Cerise will just soul burn stun him anyway, or just one shot him straight up because it's hard to build him tanky and hit hard with 250 ER. This barely works well in RTA. In other content he's fine, but in RTA he's probably like a C minus at best. Silverblade Araminta, I love this hero. One of my favorite heroes, other than the fact that somehow I've pulled six of her. Oh no, five of her, and I don't want her. But in RTA, she's probably a D. No one uses her. Made Chloe post buff easy S. She's very annoying and toxic to deal with. Most people run her high ER. Basar can't stop her. Even like Briarwitch can't stop her. She just cleanses everything. Very annoying hero, and I would say a lot of legend players immediate pre-ban on her. S10A, you guys know the drill. Hard S. She's just a monster. DJB, kind of same thing as Ray. We'll give him like a, what did we give Ray? A B plus or an A minus? He gets the same thing. He does the job with his buff. His buff made him a lot better because the problem with him was back then you could just one shot DJB right away. Nowadays he'll be on Water's Origin and have that built-in proof. So if you do try to nuke him right off the bat, he'll push himself and boost up the team. So I think he does his job pretty well now. We'll give him whatever we gave Ray. Last Rider Crow, honestly, he's not drafted as much anymore, but maybe that's because I draft him a lot. I personally believe he's an S. Maybe other players would consider him to be like an A plus. I still think he's a beast. Opsig, very annoying hero. I'm gonna give her a solid B plus. Cleavers love her. Cleavers will definitely S her because against FCC, automatic win if they don't pre-ban her. Mediator Coward, he's an easy S plus. Definitely one of the best ML5s in the game. Just kidding, he's an F. He's fucking horrible. Remnant Violet, he's good. But the problem is, RNG, baby. Some matches I've lost to Remnants where, he dodges everything and solos my whole team. And I've also played Violets where they just die immediately in the opener to like an RBS tree with Gab. So anytime you use Riolet, it's a coin flip. He gets a B. Super inconsistent. Tomoka, I think she gets an A. She's very good. Some people have crazy builds on her too, like 300 speed Tomokas that still hit like a truck. She's a situational hero, but in those situations, she absolutely dominates. She just hits so hard. Delabet, awkward to use, clunky to use, but against certain drafts, quite strong. She hits decently hard if you gear her right. I think she gets like a B or a B minus. The one problem with her is it's easy. Like if you know how her S2 works, you can kind of work around it and manipulate it. At the same time, to manipulate it, it means sometimes you can't use like the S3 you want to. So it's forcing you to change your play. So you could say that designer Delabette is still impacting your play there. Solitaria, I honestly think this hero could have been good, but just no one uses her really. I think again, it's part of that consistency factor, and the fact that against things like LR Cry going to be feeding a lot of AOE attacks. But the thing is, I have lost to Solitaria before, where she no joke full stunned my team 3 times in a row, and I'm just like, what is this toxic, annoying hero? I'm gonna give her a B minus. I feel like she's not that bad, and people are just not giving her a chance. But maybe they did, and the fact that a lot of her kit has a lot of RNG, maybe that's why she's not popular. Archdemon Shadow is a situational pick. I'm gonna give her a B plus, and I actually love Archdemon Shadow. I use her all the time, but definitely not the kind of hero you can just slam into any draft. Um, Very often going to be a 5 pick at best, maybe a 4 pick. But when she works very well. What did I give her? I'll give her like a B plus. Yafine, another situational hero against Basar. She just trucks Basar. Not going to be something you could draft into everything, but pretty good hero overall. I'll give her a B minus because you can't draft her into a lot of things. But if you 5 pick her into Basar team, she's great. Fairy Tale Tenebria, a lot of pre-bans on this. She's just one of the best heroes in the game. Easy S. She's super, super good. And SSB, at the top, RTA, you won't see her very much. If you do, she will be like a 5 pick into a super fire heavy team with like Carrot or whatever that you drafted. So in those cases, she's pretty good. I personally have not drafted her at all this season, although a big part of that is that my SSB is on Wyvern duty and I only have 1 copy. I refuse to ever plus 15 two of the same hero, but I still think she's pretty good. I'm going to give her an A minus. And I think that's all the 5-star heroes. Let's move on to the 4 stars. So topic number 2, 4-star heroes. This gets way easier because a lot of the 4-star heroes are junk or unusable in RTA, so hopefully we can zoom through this section. Starting off with Rose, of course we start with one that's actually pretty good. Not drafted very often, but if you do see her, she's probably going to be built pretty well. She has a speed exclusive equipment. Her base speed is absolutely terrible though, so it's hard to make her fast even with her exclusive equipment. It's only 10 speed, but if you 5-pick her, she can be pretty dangerous. Full team CR push plus attack buff. I'm going to give her a B. F. No one knows what she does. F. Some people use her in GVG. It's pretty good in GVG, but in RTA, you're not going to run into it. D. I don't know what this hero does. F. And you guys might think that's unfair, but I don't care. Still an F. Karen RTA, you won't see it. F. Corvus. Remember when Corvus used to literally 1v4 everyone? Went from the most broken hero in the game to just invisible. You're not going to see him. F. Cartusia. I don't even know what he does. F. Sid hits super hard, but just doesn't work in RTA at the high level. In the mid tiers, a lot of people will use him as like a fast one-shotter. But honestly, the high tiers, like if you're playing someone really good, this is not going to work. But he does have a squirrel, so we'll give him a D. We'll give him +1 points for that. Acades, we'll give her a solid B minus. GVG, she's probably an S. RTA, she's a little bit harder to use. Although she is annoying still because she can do that S3, S2 spam over and over. So if they have a low DPS team and they don't ban her, effectively you won't be able to kill anything. Shuri, speed imprint, just for that, we'll give him a C, but really no one uses him for anything other than the fact that he has the best speed imprint in the game. Dingo, F. Clarissa, F. Remember, these are PvP ratings, right? A lot of these heroes are usable in PvE, like this one, for example. Great for one-shots, PvP, F. Lots, PvP, we're mostly talking RTA. In RTA, you're never going to see him. In GVG, you could probably still use him. Some people like using A-Lots, Lots, DPS. But in general, in RTA, undraftable. We'll give him a D. Don't even know what she does, to be honest. F. F. I like Purges. I always wanted to build Purges. On Sigurd's site, it's just hilarious watching him solo. I just love those heroes that could solo teams. Like Ravi's that kind of hero, and Purges is one of those heroes too. But fortunately, if he was an ML maybe, but he's grass. There's a lot of fire units out there. I wish he worked better, but he doesn't. We'll give him a D plus. But I wish he was better because I actually love this hero. Crozet, and he did get buffed like a while ago now, but he's still, you're not going to see him. There's too many good knights. F. Dominil Super Troll, I love her S2. She's used with like those Terranor Royal Guard meme teams, but again, high end RTA, nah, it's not going to happen. F. Nope. F. I thought that this hero might end up being good, but he wasn't. No one uses him. F. Green Rin. Oh man, wasn't even that cat guy who always beats me in RTA with this thing because I refuse to learn what her skills are. I'm always confused, and he's doing weird crap like giving his whole team Gab. Gab, crit chance. I didn't even know that was crit damage. Like she was one of the only heroes that could do that back then. I mean, she's weird. I don't even know what rating to give this thing. You're not going to run into her much, so I guess she should get a bad rating, but I have nightmares about this hero. We'll give her a C. RTA D. Just falling off. Speed Imprint, so we'll give her a C. Same as Shuri. Don't know what he does. F. Don't know what she does. F. Useless PvP kit. F. F minus. Horrible. F. See, I told you guys this would be a lot faster. Wander Silk, she's a lot of fun, but no one uses her. D minus. C Merc. Yeah, I can't say I've seen her in over 1,000 games. F. C Armin, we're gonna give him a B minus. He has that awesome benefit of being able to have both Adamant and Aureus contained in a single hero, plus immunity and invincibility. Very good hero, obviously susceptible to things like Basar, but he's a very good pocket knight pick, particularly a 5 pick. Champ Z has kind of fallen off. He used to be like an auto win against debuff teams. I'm still going to give him a B+. The problem with him is he is hard to build well because if you build him super tanky, he hits so hard that they don't even care that they're... I mean, he hits so like weak that they don't even care that they're being countered. If you make him hit hard, he just gets one-shotted, and I feel like he just ends up dying to stupid things. So he's kind of hard to use. A lot of people have resorted to using like roof on him to try and make him tankier, and he still ends up dropping dead a lot. BBK, RTA, there are the occasional troll tanky counter BBKs, but in general, you're not going to see it. We'll give her a C minus. You're not going to use this unless you're trolling people. D minus. Acid, solid B plus, speed contest hero. He's a must ban if you're cleaving and you run into an Acid, unless you think they're just trying to bait pick it. But most Acids at my tier are like 310 speed, so you better ban that if you're gonna cleave. SS Acades, RTA, no one's gonna use her. The few times I see her, it's usually with some kind of like Charles, like double Soul Weaver troll team. We'll give it a D. F. For cleavers that want to bring a speed imprint, probably pretty good. We'll give that a B. Some people like trolling with this, but honestly, it's pretty bad. Like, I never run into this. We'll give it a D minus. Some people love this hero, but we're talking about the top here. Kitty Clarissa, she's okay. People use her as a cleanser because they could put her on Strat Gauntlet, so she's easier to build, and she has a self-effect resistance imprint that's easy to get as a 4-star. But usually when you get to the top, they start swapping out for better cleansers. But she's still pretty good. Did we give her a rating? I'll give her a B minus. F. No one really cleaves with this anymore because of things like Politis and Celine and stuff. I've not run into A-Lots a long time. Still use him in arena, like GVG arena offense. He's still very good. I mean, it's A lots. Let's at least give him a B. You know, we can't disrespect him. This guy's been a king for ages. Fighter Maya, pocket pick hero, but very strong. I love my Fighter Maya. I'm gonna give her a B minus. You know, very situational pick, but in those situations or like as a certain anti-cleave, very, very strong. A. Coley, I think she deserves a solid B. There's two cases where you can use her as speed contest or as like an S10A almost. If they picked nothing but single target attackers, which is very rare in today's meta, which is why she's not very common to run into. But if they pick nothing but single target DPS, you'd be shocked at how much damage she can do. G. Purgis, rampaging through RTA, S, very strong. Troublemaker Crozet, I actually like always like I used to use him a lot. And he started getting really popular after the buffs, and I said I don't think it will last. I don't think his kit's that good. Turns out I was right. Most top players are not using him anymore. Still okay. We'll give him a B minus. But you know, when he first got buffed, he was all over the place. I haven't seen him in a while now. CDOM, Cleaver's Wet Dream. You know, my ratings are biased, I'll admit, because I don't cleave. But if you're a cleaver, she's probably an S. If you're not a cleaver, she's an F. We'll just give it a B plus like we keep doing for those kind of heroes. But cleavers, S tier for sure. Broman, I hate this hero so much, but you know, 2 RNG. At the top, people value consistency, and there's going to be too many games you lose because he did absolutely nothing. We'll give him a C plus. Crescent Moon Rin, a very popular speed contest hero because she is extremely fast, 126. So if you see a C Rin, definitely gonna be like a 310 speed C Rin. But one thing that's funny with her though is that she has no ignore effect resistance. So I have won matches where they outspeed me with her and she just bricks everything. But you know, she's still solid. We'll give her a B. Sinful Angie, again, counterpick hero, not going to use very much. We'll give her a C+. Might be able to use against RB. T. Surin, you can't draft her that much in RTA anymore, but as a 5 pick, if you made sure that they don't have a counter, she's still pretty solid. I'll give her an A-. I still draft her pretty often. This, I don't even know what she really does. I've never seen it in RTA. F. Free unit, dog walker, F. And that's it for the 4-star units. Let's move on. All right, topic number 3, 3-star heroes. If it's one of a specialty change, we're just going to talk about the specialty change. But hopefully this will be pretty fast because 3-star heroes, we'll just be honest right off the bat, most of them are complete garbage, even more so than the 4 stars. Adventurer Raz, very strong hero. Not used very often in RTA though anymore. Still think he deserves a B+, very solid kit. F. F. Funny for meme teams, he's one of the few heroes that has a reflection, so in arena offense, you're going to see a lot of meme videos around this guy, but in general, he's still an F. Solid A. Some people would say S tier, but again, you know, obviously you could bring her with mages with Tagahels. I used a fast flurry, like almost a 290 flurry for a while. I can't imagine the number of matches I lost when she bricked on stuff with no effect resist with over 100 effectiveness. I just really hate that. But top players, a lot of them, particularly Asian players, put very high value on her. But I'll say that I don't see her drafted as nearly as much as she used to. I feel like back in the day, every single match had one, but she still deserves an A. Very, very good hero, particularly for a 3-star. F. 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 You know, budget initiator, but you'll outgrow this. But, you know, hard to say it's an F. I'll give it a C. F. Kind of same thing as Judith, C. We'll give this one a B minus. People still use. I'm very rare to see this nowadays, unless they're trying to speed contest. She does have a small speed imprint, and she does hit super hard. So you'll very rarely see her, but you'll see her sometimes. And when she pops up, she's pretty good. Budget Kayron, and Kayron has fallen off, so you can imagine what happened to him. We'll give him a D. F. 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 Lilius Cleave, still an F. 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 F, 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 F. B minus. Maybe C plus. I mean, she's a situational pick. If you trust that the other team doesn't have a lot of damage and you just need a rapid cleanser, some people have been using a Momo recently to deal with Carrot because Amagaharu's a Momo very effectively deals with Carrot burns. But other than that, in most cases, you'll pick something better. So C plus, B minus. People actually used to use this hero for like arena defense and stuff, and he was kind of annoying. He would just like reset you or something, but still, I never see him in RTAF. B plus, very annoying hero to deal with, maybe even an A minus. Depending on the draft, like if you picked a lot of dark units and you let this Doris thing get through, you're gonna have a bad day, dude. So very strong RTA hero, 3-star, build it, abuse it, enjoy it. F, S squared, broken, ML6, build it now. F, 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 F minus minus. The minus minus is because all my Galaxy bookmarks turn into this bastard. Yeah, the man, Harada, how can you give this guy an F? He used to be like a budget Bazaar, but you'll literally never see this guy, but honestly, I like this dude. Look at how shiny his head is. We'll give him a D. F. 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 If you're a cleaver, you might use this. Everyone else, it's an F. We'll give it a C. F. F. F, 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 F. I actually want to experiment with this guy. I think his kid is hilarious, but still I've never seen him. F, 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 F. Specialty. The rest are specialty changes, so we already talked about them. And those are all the heroes in Epic 7. So, you know, thankfully, the 3 stars were easy because the vast majority of them were Fs. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this video because a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, you gave someone an F and you don't even know what they do. Guys, I do a lot of RTA. If I don't know what that hero does, it means that literally no one is using them. If they were actually broken and really strong, do you really think that no one would use them? It's just common sense. So if you find a way to make one of the heroes, I gave an F2 and spammed him up to legend, I would love to see that video. Prove me wrong. But otherwise, those are my ratings. I think I was a little harsher than I usually am. I don't think that many heroes got S's. Really, the S's were reserved for heroes that are pretty much in every single draft. The A's were like the common like 3-4 picks. And I think the B's were just like those really strong counter picks that aren't in every draft, but are really strong as 4 or 5 picks. So anyways, that's my video. So if you want to agree with me, if you want to say that I'm an idiot or an asshole or that I don't even know how to play the game, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. That's what it's for. And there we go. We reviewed all 214 heroes in, I think, less than 45 minutes. And that's a lightning review. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, peace out, boys. Meet me.